All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Thursday, August 12th, 2021. So, market's pumping a little bit here into the close. Really had a pump all day long. As you see, the SP had its first little sell here. And same thing with the NASDAQ gap down, a little bit of a dip. Dow, Russell really has been weak, but all three indexes really kind of just pushing down and then kind of just short covering or what have you pretty much all day long, and now just kind of going vertical into the power hour here. Now IWM been a little bit muted here. Again, that's again, we talked about AMC being a drag on that index, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But so I want to talk about something here at the S&P, and I generally don't like to entertain these ideas because when it's so obvious like this, it generally doesn't play out. But we're just really following similar pattern to last year, it appears anyway. So we had this, we had the gap down and kind of this little mini double bottom here in June, and then kind of a melt up, a little bit of a roll, and then a blow off top. It kind of, it's very similar. Now it's after a bottom in March, and then what did we have here? We had a bottom in March this year, melt up, and kind of a little mini double bottom May, June, and a couple dips here and there, and then now we kind of had this sideways rolling action, and now it looks like we're starting to push up, possibly for a vertical move. You guys, I've been talking about this for weeks, actually a few months now, really, that I think the real top will be when we start to do this. And it's interesting that we're coming into that same time frame here. This is mid to late August, and we're getting into the middle of August now, and the market's kind of doing the same exact thing, essentially a week ahead of Jackson Hole. So a lot of things going on here. And I've talked about the VIX as well. I've been telling you guys it's probably going lower. I've been accumulating it in case it doesn't, because we are all kind of expecting a volatility event, but I haven't fully loaded into this because there is a measured move level that I have, and it has still not been satisfied yet. And there's too many put. We've looked at the put call ratio. There's still too many puts in the market, but we could be setting up to erase that and essentially make the bears capitulate. So again, we'll just keep an eye on this. Yeah, and if the markets start going vertical, that's going to be our signal here that this market's ready to top out. So just keeping that in mind. Let's look at the dollar index here. So dollar just kind of holding up again. Nothing really major here happening. Nothing new from yesterday. But if this starts to go sideways, it could be setting up to push through these pivots. So just bear that in mind, as well as this one. This one is so close to these two pivots. This is essentially minor resistance to me. But yeah, if the dollar index starts going sideways, or if it comes back in and back tests this trend line, it could go higher here. So just bear that in mind. I do expect that to happen. Also, the yield, again, higher today, and IWM really not responding. Now, yield is into some short-term resistance, but straight into that 50 MA, so it should pull back here. But yield's higher again. Inflation is on the radar again. It's kind of the fulcrum of the market again, and we'll just have to monitor that, keeping going forward. But again, with AMC here, AMC getting a bit of a bid today, which is helping the IWM, but lately it is a drag on the IWM. As you can see, IWM not making new highs, and the IWM has lots of bank stocks in its index, and even despite that, look at the banks, JP Morgan, Goldman. Some of these names are getting ridiculously extended. Goldman is just, this has been a tremendous run. Morgan Stanley is getting ridiculous, but with the IWM having all these bank names in them, the regionals and stuff like that, they're really not. You'd think the IWM would be pushing closer to all-time highs with the rest of the market, but it's not. And we're really seeing the Dow kind of take leadership right now. So that's generally not a bullish indicator. But we've had the Dow lead in the past earlier this year, and it turned out to be nothing. We just had a lot of rotation, and the market's just held up. So again, everything's in an uptrend. We'll just continue to respect that. For now, we'll just get into some of our plays here. So Sundial, I just dumped this recently just for basically a break even. I think I lost maybe like 0.5% or something, but this just really didn't do anything. And that's the beauty of it. We barely put any money into it. And yeah, it's just kind of a flat little dud play. But we got, we got a nice winner on that CGC. We're just trying to capture the same thing here. There is another one. We want to try this again. I believe Aurora reports in September, and this one has also been known to run into earnings too. So we'll keep that on the radar. But no harm, no foul with Sundial, and that's why I like the trade so much, because as you can see, this name is such a runner. I mean, we can see what it can do here. And really just on a one-day hold, your downside risk is so minimal, it's really no problem taking a stab at it. So who knows, maybe they blow out earnings and the stock gaps up. I don't know. But I'm not willing to risk that into that. It's just a one-day play. So unfortunate, but no harm, no foul there. As far as some of the other names, Snowflake having a great day. Looks to be on breakout here. Again, beautiful consolidation last week. That's why I jumped in. And yeah, we took half off here, and now looks like we're going to make this move up to 300, 305. So our second target should get hit. Also notice a little bit of uptick in volume there, so there's probably some short covering going on. So that's a bullish indicator there for Snowflake. Yeah, and that's working out well for us. Budweiser getting hit a little bit today, but actually holding up pretty well here. This thing should get going pretty soon, but it's acted well on an intraday basis. So you can see it sold off a little bit here, and then the dip was bought. So that is moving up nicely. So the other names we're watching, Peloton still really starting to like this pattern. We get another, take a look here on the weekly. If we close anywhere in this range on the weekly, that would give me a buy signal, so I probably would jump in on that. And then Zoom, which we're still not in again. Now we're watching this for a higher low, and it looks like it may give us one. So we'll keep this on the radar. I'm not in a hurry to get into it, but it is something that we're just looking at in the short term. Let's just take a quick look at crude. So crude, again, just kind of a pause day here. You did make a slightly higher low here on crude, and yeah, you're just kind of holding in this range. So really crude, to me, you're kind of just stuck between this pivot low here and these pivot lows on this. So nothing really new to report. If it starts breaking one way or the other, then we'll talk about it and give it a little bit more attention. But for now, it's kind of just hanging in there. And gold, a little bit of a bounce here, but this is starting to look a little bit like a dead cat. If this was going to be a reversal, I'd want to see it happen. I would want to see it start to climb up very soon, or much more soon than it has. Like it's kind of stalling out already, is what I'm trying to say. You want to see it immediately reverse higher if that's going to put in a bottom. Now it could start going sideways and make an attempt to push back at these red bars, but for now it's just kind of just hanging in there and not really doing anything. GDX kind of the same thing. You had a little bit of bounce yesterday and already looks like you made a new low today. Just by a few pennies, but nonetheless, you made a new low. So this is not looking very good for GDX. And silver coming back in a little bit today as well, but ultimately it's just kind of holding up and hanging in there. But this is a really big tail candle, so we'll just see what happens with silver. Again, not in a hurry to get into either of these, and we're just going to see what kind of shakes out before we make any decisions here. Anyways, let's see, I think that's about all I wanted to cover. Yeah, that's about it. We'll just kind of watch for the watch for this market to go vertical. I'm still holding my SPXL, so that's 3 times long at the S&P, and that's just kind of like a short-term hedge against my volatility position. So that's just, I'm just kind of like riding that out, and until the market gives us a sell signal, I'll just continue holding this. Oh, also, yeah, one thing, the semiconductors. So Semi's down again for six days in a row. I can't remember the last time that happened. I know they were down 5 days in a row in October of 2020. So that was I bet you probably have to go back to March. Yeah, we'd have to look this up. I don't even think there's anything on this chart where the semis were down 6 days in a row. And coming right into this back test, beautiful back test here of the previous all-time high. So semis holding up, but I mean, again, they were short-term oversold. AMD came in pretty hard. NVIDIA pulled back a little bit, so not a surprise to see the semis bounce at that level. And really, there's not enough volume in this market to make that level break down. We'd have to get news for the semis to really break that level. Oh, one other thing, Moderna. I talked about, I did the video the other day on this. I said, hey, guys, this thing is parabolic. It's unsustainable. It's probably coming in. I know some of you guys had puts on this thing, so congrats to you guys there. But yeah, this thing got walloped and getting a little bit of a bounce here at the 20 moving average, but this thing is going to come back in a lot lower. Ultimately, you probably get onto this gap fill at about 260 or so. Might even get as low if we really have a market correction. Might get as low as about 190, because that would be your previous breakout level. So this thing just coming back in pretty nicely. But that's what happens when this was not. Some of this was hysterical retail buying, but a lot of this was just gamma squeezing. And when that happens, I mean, it's just a matter of time. So, but anyways, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow and in the weekend video at Wall Street for Main Street. All right, guys, have a great day.